What if I told you that the very system you believe gives you freedom might actually be leading you to your own destruction? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share may feel uncomfortably close to home. You wake up each morning, scrolling through endless feeds, drowning in opinions, outrage, and noise. Everyone shouting, everyone voting with their likes, shares, and hashtags. It feels empowering, doesn't it? Like your voice matters. But Socrates, more than 2,000 years ago, would have looked at this chaos and whispered, "This is the beginning of the end." Through Plato's writings, we see Socrates paint democracy not as the shining crown of civilization, but as a fragile ship adrift in a storm. Imagine a vessel on open seas. The crew is restless, each sailor demanding control of the helm. No one listens to the navigator, the one who studies the stars, the tides, the dangers. Instead, they shout, they fight, they vote, they take turns steering, believing equality makes them capable. But without wisdom, the ship doesn't sail, it sinks. That ship is us. Socrates warned that democracy flatters the masses, convincing them that freedom means doing whatever they desire. But desires are wild, untrained beasts. One day you crave justice, the next day revenge. One moment you demand equality, the next you lust for power. And when a society builds its foundation on desire instead of discipline, it breeds chaos. Sound familiar? Look around, the loudest voices dominate, not the wisest. We elect charm, not competence. We worship confidence, not knowledge. Socrates would say this is not freedom, it's slavery to impulse. A society drunk on choice, yet blind to consequence. Here's the uncomfortable truth: Socrates believed that democracy does not end in liberty. It ends in tyranny. Why? Because when chaos grows unbearable, people no longer want freedom, they want order. And into that hunger for stability steps a strongman, a tyrant, promising to clean up the mess. The very democracy that promised freedom gives birth to its opposite. Let that sink in. Now, you might resist this thought. You might say, but democracy gives us power, it gives us dignity. And yes, it does. But Socrates would ask, are we worthy of that power? Do we cultivate the wisdom, the discipline, the self-awareness to wield it well? Or do we, like sailors fighting over the wheel, confuse our shouting with steering? Think about your own life. How often do you mistake impulse for freedom? Staying up all night, scrolling, drinking, indulging, because you can. But the next morning, you wake up heavy, trapped by the consequences of your own choices. That's not freedom. That's a cage you built yourself. Socrates saw democracy in the same way, a society mistaking indulgence for liberty, only to find itself enslaved by its own excess. So, what do we do with this? Should we abandon democracy? Socrates doesn't give us that comfort. Instead, he leaves us with a challenge. A warning. That freedom without wisdom is poison. That democracy without virtue is suicide. Maybe the question isn't whether democracy is good or bad. Maybe the real question is, are we good enough for democracy? And that, perhaps, is why Socrates unsettles us. Because deep down, we sense he's still right. The ship is ours. The storm is here. And the helm is waiting. What will you do?